Hello! How's everybody doing tonight? We are coming in with a Christmas project tonight. So it's Christmas in July here on Colleen's Chalk Couture. And we're going to be doing the days until Christmas, and this is on a shadow box. And I've got a bunch of colors picked out here, and I stirred them all up, and I think we are ready to go with the colors. Actually, my husband picked the colors. So just gonna lift this up just a little bit so you can see the whole project. Just raise this up a little higher. And hopefully, if I can turn this the right way, that will work. Nope, wrong way. Alright, why do you all of a sudden not want to catch? Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. Alright, I think we got it. Let's see. I think you can see everything. Sorry about that shaking of the camera there. Alrighty, let me pull my chair in a little, my nice squeaky chair. And what we're going to do is remove our transfers. We always label the back of the transfers first, so that way we know to return our sticky transfer to the shiny side of the carrier sheet and not the paper side, which is labeled back. That's why we label them first. And this transfer has actually been used a couple times before, so normally what we would do is we would fuzz the transfer up so that, especially on glass, so that our transfer doesn't stick to the surface too hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this up here kind of close. I want to leave a little bit of room so that you can write the countdown over here in this space. I definitely feel a bump in there. What the heck is that? Got a piece of chalk paste in there. Let's get that out of there. So I opened up my jar over top of this, which I shouldn't have done. So then we're just putting our transfer down on top of the glass. As I mentioned, this is a shadow box, so we are working on glass tonight. And the colors that my husband chose are, we're going to go traditional with red, white, and green. And this is actually our emerald green that we're going to be using, so it's a little bit darker. And then I'm going to try, for the bottom, I'm going to try to use our ink. So, because he said it would look pretty to do the Christmas ornaments in like a shimmering gold and shimmering silver. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to move these for a hot second. And then I was going to have my line separating, and then you can also use this line to make it look like it's kind of the ornaments are hanging. So this is a perfect divider line, and it's also a great line to use to make it look like it's dangling. Now I could have put this at the bottom and then just had these dangle from the top like that using the line if I wanted to do that. But I think I'm going to change it up because I did that project before, so I'm going to change it up and do the days until Christmas up top and then these down at the bottom, and that way whatever you put in your shadow box, you can you'll be able to see between the Christmas balls on there is what I'm hoping. So we'll see if that works. Now, he said to be adventurous and to do red, white, green, all the way through, but I think that that's for the sake of Alive. I think that that's going to take a little too long, because what I would have done was do all my green letters, take this off, wash it, lay it back down again, and then do all of my red and so forth and so on until I've got the whole thing. But it's a lot of taking off, cleaning off the transfer, and putting it back. So for time's sake tonight, I think I'm going to do green, white, and red. So we'll start with covering our days in just our green chalk. And I went ahead and stirred these. You're looking for the consistency of yogurt for your chalk paste. So you just want to make sure that you're covering your silkscreen area completely, and then applying a little pressure as you go back over to get all that excess off. And then we put that excess right back into our jar. So then I just like to have a couple squeegees handy so that this is easy to do. And I already went off and got some on my board, but it is chalk paste, so it does go on wet, dries hard in just a few minutes, so you do need to be a little quick, and it will wash off with water. So you can change out this design on here with just a little spritz of water and paper towel, and that will take your design off and you can change out for the different holidays. So you can use this one shadow box and change out the designs on it multiple times. So I'm trying to be quick, and actually what I think I might do, just make sure I don't have any ink on me. I want to, because I don't want this to start drying on here, especially the white, so I'm just going to pull this down until there. Ooh, that came out really good. See how I got a little bit of green on there, but I'll wash that off once everything's dry. So then I'm just going to cover Christmas with the rest of the transfer lifted up. That way it's not going to dry, because you definitely do not want your chalk paste to dry onto your transfer, because then when you lift your transfer up, your chalk paste is just going to come right along with it. So I'm just applying a little pressure just to pull that chalk paste right across. Sorry, my hands are probably blocking from holding up the first couple words. Just making sure, like I said, you're covering all that silkscreen area so you're not missing any pieces. And then the final step is to just go once more over, and I see a bubble in my tea that I missed. Hopefully that's not going to be an issue, but we'll see. So let's just pull this back and see what happened, because I can see it. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Oh, no, it's not too bad. But look how fun that is. Isn't that such a cute little whimsical font for Days Until Christmas? So I left, like I said, a little space here so that we can put the numbers, like a countdown for the Days Until Christmas. That's fun for the kids, huh? So I'm just cleaning off my jars, because I don't want to have these sitting over here open, because that also will dry them out, and that's what we don't want to happen. We want to get as many uses out of these jars as we can, so we definitely want to make sure that we get those closed up so that they don't dry out. However, if they do dry out a little bit and you're not finding that you're getting the consistency of like that yogurt consistency, all you need to do is just spritz in a little bit of water. Spritz a little bit at first, and you can always add more, but you can't take water away once you add it. So just spritz slowly till you get that consistency that you're looking for. And then my squeegees go right into the pan that I have alongside me, as well as my transfer. I just have a small pan of water. I'll show you real quick. So this just kind of sits off to the side whenever I'm doing projects, and that way the water will kind of help take off that chalk paste. And then I'll show you at the end how to clean it. But right now I'm going to dry this real quick. And just my heat tool, just applying a little bit of heat, just to help speed up the process of drying the chalk. This is already pretty much dry. I can run my hands over that. This is dry too, but I just want to make sure we are good and dry. My red is nice and dry too, and I especially don't want to apply too much heat, because it'll make the glass hot. So that's perfect. It's already dry. So what I'm going to do then is take my line here. Oops, let me put that to the side. So I'm just going to come in and put a line underneath, just to kind of separate it out and to make it look like there's something here that's going to hold my ornaments. So I'm just going to do this in white. Actually, I shouldn't have closed up my white, because I need that again. And then I actually have a little tiny squeegee that I just had one of our small squeegees, and I just cut pieces, and that's perfect for these little jobs here. So what I want to do is just put a very light coat on here, because I want to use this again when I'm putting down my ornaments down at the bottom, because I'm going to have them hanging from this. I'm going to try to not have to clean this in between. So if I put a nice thin coat, well, you know what? I'm going to have to clean this, because I'm going to go to the ornaments next, and then my chalk paste is going to wind up drying in here. So let's just cover this up real quick again. Remove this. I'm going to get this right into water so I can clean it. How cute is that? The little lines. That's sweet. So I'm just going to off to the side here, just clean this transfer off and get all the chalk paste off of it, and then put it on my drying towel. I don't need to completely clean it, because I'm going to use it again. And when I say completely clean it, I mean I'm not going to do the final step, which is the Clorox wipe, to clean it. I'm just going to use my hands and the water and get some of that chalk paste out of the silkscreen area and set that on my towel to dry. Sorry, my chair is very squeaky. I don't know what the heck's going on with this chair. I'm just going to dry my hands off because they were in the water. And then we're going to put down our ornaments. I think I was going to do, oh, I got more chalk paste on here. Let me get that off so that doesn't get underneath my transfer. Just going to kind of stagger these a little bit, like that. I might keep these two even. This one up a little higher like that. So I'm going to try to do ink on glass. I don't think I've done that yet. Not that I recall. I was going to try to get really detailed and do like this silver ink here and then try to do some red in here. I think I'm just not going to do that, again, just for the sake of time and being on a live. So let's get the backs off again. We labeled the back as we always do. I repeat that a lot because it is a very important step. And also fuzzing the transfers, like I said, just picking up the lint from your shirt or your pants, just so that it doesn't have the transfer stick real hard to your surface. Now, as I mentioned, this transfer has been loved a lot. I made a lot of projects out of this last year, and so happy to say that this is actually back now from, we call it being on pause, but it's back now for the holidays, which I'm so happy about. So that's why I wanted to come in and do a project with it. So what I was getting at was the fact that I've used this transfer quite a bit. So it's already not quite as sticky, but it still is sticky. It's sticking to my finger pretty good. So if you take care of your transfers, you'll get a good amount of uses out of them. And that's great because you can mix and match your different transfers and things like that. So that's the awesome part. Just trying to see if I want to go a little higher or if I want to have it the same. I think I'm going to go the same. Let's just leave it here. Oops, now that's crooked. And you can see it's still pretty sticky on the glass. Alright, now I feel like I have a bubble in there. What is that? Did I get more chalk? Whenever I open up my jars over my project, I wind up getting some of the dried chalk from the rim of the container. Always onto my project. Okay. I feel something in there with my fingers. That's why I like to use my fingers when I'm feeling for bumps and things like that. Because you can use your squeegee to smooth it out, but then I'm not going to feel anything. I just like to use my hands. It's okay if there's a little bump here on the teal section. That's not a big deal. I am going to smooth it out though. But it's not a big deal. You're just more concerned about bumps in the silkscreen area. So now that we have that set, and I actually put this down right over top of my white, and that probably was not dry. Oh, we're okay. Yep, it's okay. It is dry. Phew! I thought I was going to pull that right up with my transfer. Alright, so let's give this a whirl. Let's see what it's going to look like doing ink on here. And I'm thinking I probably need to do a nice thin layer. But that's really pretty. Look at how shimmery that is. I'm going to do the whole thing, and then maybe I might come back and erase the bow and do that a color. But for now, let's just cover the whole thing and see how this is going to come out. Oh, I missed a piece. Make sure I just didn't listen to my own advice, making sure that I covered the whole silkscreen area, and I completely missed a couple pieces there actually. So there we go. Now we're fully covered. Now we can remove this. Oh, that was a good choice. Good choice, hubby. On the colors for the Christmas balls. I love that. But I really think that had I come in here with some red, that would have really been cute. So let's do this side. I was concerned about how the ink was going to come out on glass, but it looks really cute. Alrighty. I think we got that all covered. I was just going to do 2 in silver, and then I also have, oh, look how pretty. Then I also have gold, so let's do the center one in gold. So I'm just getting all that excess. Same with our ink. You always want to make sure you're getting all that excess back in. And here I go again doing it right over top, but you want to make sure you get all that excess off because you saw that just that tiny little bit. And this is our 2-ounce jars of ink. Now we're up to 3-ounce jars. So this is lasting me a nice bit of time because you only need a nice thin layer. Just gonna cover that up, grab a paper towel to clean my fingers off. As you can see, I'm a messy crafter. I've got ink all over my fingers. That will come off because it is washable with water, so no worries. So then we're gonna try the gold. And you could just easily get a washable marker and just wipe off the days every time you do your countdown. That's fun. Okay, so that did not take a lot at all. Put that in my bin. Oh, look how pretty that looks. I love that. That was a fantastic idea. I love that. Can you guys see it? I hope you can. The lights kind of might be shining there. I kind of wish I had done them all in gold now, honestly. Now this, I'm going to heat set it just to dry it. It's not permanent, even though I used ink. I will be able to wash it off. It would only be permanent if I baked it in. But because I'm not baking it, it's fine. It will wash off. Let's get our lid on this guy. Okay, so make sure that they're not drying out. And of course, I got it on my fingers, as always. Let's take the heat to this because I want to come in and I want to attach these to the little string here to make them look like they're hanging down. Still wet. The ink does take a little bit longer to dry, but I just want to be careful that my glass doesn't get too hot. Yeah, it's still tacky. So I'm just trying to, like I said, be careful because the glass is starting to get hot. But that's still tacky. You can see I pulled up some silver on my finger along with green and red and every other color I used tonight. So I may have to wait on this, and then post a picture with the lines. But basically, I had this off drying off to the side. It's still a little wet. Let me just get some of that water off of there. Basically, all that I would do is just line up my hole, my bottom hole down here. Right here, I would line that up with the hole right in here and then take it right to the top, right to this where this line meets. And then that way it looks like the ornaments are hanging down, and then this one would just need a couple dots. And that's pretty much how you would do it, but like I said, I want to wait for the ink to dry because that does take a little bit longer. And then I just need to clean this off here where I got some, scraped right off with my nail, where I got some ink on the frame. Just clean that off. But that is it. So this is a super cute shadow box. That's the thickness of it. I actually started to pop some of this off. This is unfortunately not a Chalk Couture shadow box. I did get it from one of the big box stores just because I didn't have any and I wanted to practice on one of these. But you can see that there's a pretty good amount of room back here. This one, I can't get my finger in there. So there we go. So the cool thing is, the reason that I did this was because I just wanted to take it apart so I could show you that you could actually chalk on the inside of this too. If you had something, if you wanted to put the ornaments on the inside, that's an option too. Now this, like I said, is not our shadow box. Our shadow boxes actually have chalkboard on the back of it, which I love. This one is just like cloth that you just have pins right here that you could just pin like pictures to or something on the inside. So I just kind of wanted to show you. kind of the depth, and to show you that you could actually put some things in here. So I only closed a few of them, so I don't have to go through opening all them again. But how cute is that? So you could put different little trinkets inside, and then you've got your little space here. You could always take your dots and make a little box here as well if you want to do that. To do your countdown, you could take the lines here and just make a dashed line here for you to write, and just write it on a marker for your countdown until Christmas. But how cute does the colors really pop on here on the glass? And I think that was a great call by my husband to do the ornaments in the ink. I thought that came out really cute. So I thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic evening, and I will talk to you later. Bye.